All right, guys, what is going on? What's good? What's good? It is Wednesday, the 30th of August, 2023. And we are live. So what's good, everyone? And we have members only mode on today. Or warned you yesterday that was going to happen, right? We predict stuff like that as well as market moves, right? You know, no ego, but our track record speaks for itself, right? What's good, Naruto, Tiago, Nikki, Katarina, Alex made it in just before the cut. What's good? 2020 is here as well. What's going on? Ali, Beverly, Edgar, Trillionaire, Cameron, Max, and Shay. What's going on? The only thing I was watching today was S&P and Nasdaq. Okay. Now, I did look at this as a long, but I didn't do enough analysis in the moment to actually place a trade there. So, unfortunately, I let that one go today. So, but let me at least give you a analysis on why. Okay? And then we'll go from there. And I guess we could probably do a follow-up yesterday as well. Let me ask you guys that in the chat. Did you guys take the screenshot yesterday? Did you guys take the screenshot when I told you to screenshot the Nasdaq on the 5-minute time frame? I know I went over that in the market review yesterday, but for those of you that I guess may not have seen a market review, or I don't know, maybe you're not even a member, but you screenshotted it because you were watching the session. Did you at least follow up, you know, the next hour or maybe later in the day? Did you at least go look at it? Because I believe, did we screenshot Nasdaq, or what time was that yesterday? Oh yeah. That wasn't an institutional candle, it was a mitigation. That's right. That was just yesterday. Come on, John. What the fuck? That right there. We screenshotted that, I think, when price was like right in the middle of this candle here. So, I mean, let me ask you this, chat. Where's my music at? That's question number one. Okay, I fixed that. Question number two. So, is that pretty neat or what? Like, is that cool to be able to screenshot this and then the next 3 candles are higher, going to the 420 level that we outlined ahead of time? I don't know if Willow's here yet, right? But we had an alert that 420 level. So I guess my question is it pretty badass or what? You're screenshotting this candle and then it sprints to our target. Is that not cool or what? I mean, fuck. I don't think there's too many people out there that are doing what we're doing here. Don't get me wrong. There are traders that are calling moves in advance. I know Casper does. I think he actually did something today. I think he was on Twitch earlier today. I think I saw his tweet. He had like a follow-up of I think they went break even or something. He tweeted that. So like, obviously it would be very ignorant if I said it was just me. It's absolutely not. I know there are other traders doing this, but I'm just saying, it's like there are not very many, I think, in our space that are doing that. It's like, hey, look, screenshot this, boom. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, now don't get the message wrong, I'm not saying you should have traded it or you should have put the farm on it or anything like that, because this is all going to be included for tomorrow's Discord session. I'm going to go in obviously into more detail than what we're doing here, but I'm just saying, you know, like, take those screenshots, take those before and after, because I'm going to show you exactly how I look at them and how I'm able to do this for you. Right? Maybe not every day. Okay? Sometimes I get it wrong. I got euro wrong the other day, but more times than not, we're able to see like, oh yeah, you know, and price really isn't that difficult. It's not all that difficult. All right, there's my mouse. What's good, Stephanie? Katarina. I think I mentioned everybody. If I forgot to mention you, I'm sorry. I try. And yeah, it was magical, it was crazy, accurate, neat. You know, gotta love the algorithm. That's what it is. We're watching the algorithm deliver price straight up there. Now we hopped off the session, but that was right at that last hour, which I think I did mention yesterday too. I said we might have to wait for the last hour, and which we did. So you guys study that as well. But anyway, so there's that from yesterday, which is cool. So let me talk about today. Okay. Now again, I looked at this as a buy. I didn't long it though. Honestly, I think if I did, I would have probably missed the entry because I would have said, you know what? I want like a 1 minute, and there was nothing there for me other than like this old imbalance here in the short term low, but that wasn't enough for me. So I probably would have let that go, and it's fine. But I want to tell you why. Okay. If you think back to what we discussed, hold on a second. Okay, never mind. We're good. The chat is member only. I was just making sure that the stream wasn't member only. Okay. That's right. So the indices, okay, if you think back to a few weeks ago, what did we discuss when I told you about the list for the indices? There's like 7 things you should look at, or not financial advice, but there's like 7 things that I would look at in order to really get a more thorough analysis of what's going on with the indices. What are those 7? Can you tell me? Can you tell me what those are? I mean, they're on the fucking screen. Okay, they're on the screen, so you should be able to. As I finish my breakfast, Rain Energy. Not paid sponsorship. All right, I wish. They won't sponsor me though. Probably because, I'm not in a bikini or fucking the biggest guy at the gym, So it's cool. I get it. Target market. It's fine. But whatever. All right. Edgar says ETFs. Naruto says index ETF, index futures, and the dollar. Perfect. Futures, ETF, and dollar. What's good, Kevin? E-minis not important now? What do you mean? E-minis are important. We're looking at E-minis right now, my friend. They are important. Sometimes I trade the micros instead because the Nasdaq will literally just slap you upside the mouth, and then throw you on the street. So you got to be careful. But yeah, so you guys are right. So we have NQ and then the triple Qs. So you can always pair them together. I don't do that, but you could. So, like, say for instance, we might be able to add, like, let's say we had, I'm not going to do this, but just to show you like an example, we could have Nasdaq, and then we could take, say, NQ here and then have the triple Qs here as well. So that way they're kind of right next to each other. And then have like another section for the S&P, another section for the Dow, whatever. That's probably not a bad idea either, but I've always had it a certain way and I don't feel like changing it. Sometimes I'm one of those people that I don't like to change shit. I want to keep it where it's at. So I like my list. I like how it is. And I'm leaving it that way. Okay. But I'm just saying you have that option of doing that. So anyway, if you look at Nasdaq, obviously 925 is a run below the, I would say, pre-market consolidation. Okay. I don't know if I'd go with that or here, but either way, you have 830. Okay, so you're open, it drops down, but it doesn't sweep those lows, and then it rallies. But then it comes for the lows later. This is important right here, okay? Because I thought about looking for shorts at first, but then I changed my mind, okay? But I'm trying to walk you through how I got to that. So number one, when you look at Nasdaq, it might be our strongest index today too. The Nasdaq has swept liquidity here. And although to me, on like a higher time frame, there's really nothing that signifies this would be a high probability target, in my opinion. Okay. So this is only one of the 7 assets that we should be looking at. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going, all right, well, what else is out there? We can look at the triple Qs. What does it have? I'm looking at this. I'm like, it ain't got much, but it does have a gap up here. Okay. So I don't think that's going to be hit today, but that's at least like an upside objective for indices. So it's like, okay, well, look what we're coming off of this gap right here. What does the market trade to or from? You guys know liquidity to liquidity, imbalance to imbalance, or even like gap to gap. That's a thing too. Okay. So it's like, all right, I'm not just going to short. Like, why would it short from here? Like when I was looking at this morning, I'm like, what justification does it have to short right here? There is none. Okay. So what are the other indices doing? So then we go to S&P. Okay. What's S&P got? Well, what does it have going on? What is that? I can't remember what that is. Anyway, I think that's the daily. We'll get to it. 925. Okay. So we dropped down just like the Nasdaq did, and we swept some recent lows. I don't think we came for this one, but it's like some pre-market lows here. Okay. Like pre-stock exchange open is what I mean. Okay. Right here. So it's like, all right, we swept that and then we traded higher. Why would it gravitate higher though? Because to me, I'm just asking you, like, generally, I'm not expecting an answer, but I'm saying, like, if you think about it, why would the market trade higher when we don't have equal highs or no shit like that? Okay. And this is where I think people get confused too, because it used to confuse me. The thing is, when you go, I want to say it's the daily. Okay. It would make sense for some people to believe, oh, we're above an old high, we should look for shorts, right? Shorting above old highs, that's a reasonable, strategy or whatever. And based off the futures, yeah, that looks like a pretty decent idea. However, when you're looking at it, what's the downside target? If we're looking at it like from where it's at right now, we have again, these lows have been swept and we're higher. So it's like, well, what's the short setup? And there's nothing in here. I mean, there is an imbalance right here. Sure. That just got pushed through. Why? Why did it get pushed through? That is when we ring in SPY. Okay, let's go look at SPY for a second. What's going on over here? Well, it doesn't have pre-market lows because it's not going to show you pre-market data unless you look at the pre-market. So this is just stock exchange trading hours, okay? 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So it doesn't have those lows pre-market, but it does have a gap here. Okay, so we essentially traded into that at 925, right? And we filled in that gap. But there's a little bit more to it than that. When you go to the daily, all right, it doesn't have that same data as far as the highs and lows on the daily time frame. So what I'm saying is this high here from, I think that's August 10th. is not the same high from the futures. Wait, let me explain. When we go back to the ETFs, futures, sorry. When we're looking at the futures, this is August 15th. Okay? And I think August 10th is here. So we're above that, but we're not to this high, right? But SPY, I think the 15th is here and the 10th is here. But look how close we are to that today. Shit, if anything, we stopped short, like barely. Okay? So when the market of whatever you're looking at, daily, weekly, time frames especially, when it gets this close to an old high, for me, I don't just believe that, all right, it's going to stop here and then trade lower. It can do that. I mean, you'll see instances where it does, but a lot of the times, to me, it's not just going to do that because we know there's resting liquidity here. So again, now when we look at it, I know we just got closer here during lunch, but I'm saying, look at this morning. We ran higher. We didn't take that high. We came down, right? And why does this move happen here? I know I discussed this time and time again. I'll tell it to you again. 8:30 on a Wednesday, okay? Usually Monday this happens, but even Wednesday, in the morning, what happens? The stock exchange opens, so everybody's excited, right? Hopefully not us, but trading should be boring, but either way, it can be exciting to some people. So the market opens, what do they want to do? They want to hurry up, put trades in, right? What can we do? What trades can we take? So 8:30 starts and the market is rallying higher. So think about it. People are buying that. Okay, they're either buying the open or it's trading higher and they're buying it on the way up. Okay, I don't like doing that. I usually try not to do that. Okay, I almost never do that. I would rather buy or long on the way down. Okay, buy low, sell high, not buy high, sell low. Okay, so to me, I think the storyline is market trades higher. People are chasing that. The market trades lower, grabs those stops, rebalances price, right? There's this gap right here too. So we have stops. That's what that says. Should have been a doctor, huh? And this gap right here. Okay. So it's taking out traders, rebalancing price at the same time. And then we still have that target above that daily high, and now even the morning session high as well. So to me, an upside objective for today is probably up here. So now think about that context, but in this area down here. Okay. The S&P, think back to when, shit, I don't remember which title it was, but remember how we talked about when the market switches from bearish to bullish, right? We talk about order flow. So if price is bullish, down candles are going to be respected, right? You guys know that. We talk about that all the time. Okay. Now, again, this is just SPY, but I mean, look at it. Down candles being respected there. But what I want to point out to you is not these down candles here. Okay. This is for your notes. Now, again, I was watching Nasdaq, but to be fair, for your notes, look at this. Okay. We'll come back to live price in just a minute, but look at this right here. This kind of looks like shit, but I'm telling you, it doesn't. I mean, as far as price delivery, okay, look at it. So let me ask you this. Oh, all right, I want to ask you this question. What we're going to do is mark up this gap here. All right, all that is Tuesday's close to today's open, right? Was good, Vadu. Why? Ask yourself this. Why does price respect the gap? All right. Then, okay, so it respects the gap, and then on a 5-minute time frame, it just so happens that this down candle here is respected. Do you see that? Did you notice that? Now, I will tell you again and again and again, I'm the type of trader, I do not like when price meanders around the entry. I hate that. I despise that. Okay? That's just who I am. That's my personal, touch, all right, into my trading. It's just how it is. I want the wick entry and running my, running my TP, okay? Like Nasdaq yesterday for the screenshot. That's what I want. I don't always get that, but that's what I want. Okay? Edgar understands. It dances around your entry. If you're on your phone, your screen goes from blue to red to blue to red. I'm like, fuck, man, just do something. Okay? So anyway, why do you think price respects the gap and then it's respecting this down candle here? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Then we have this down candle here. Price trades through that back into this down candle here, right there. Done. I think there's a small gap right there too. It's a little hard to tell, but thank God for TradingView and their warping abilities, because a lot of these old school programs, you can't really move price around, and I hate that. I got to be able to move shit around. Okay, but anyway, gap, down candle, price gets launched above this high, right? So I'm saying order flow was bullish here. Okay, now what could support that in the Nasdaq? Well, that's why I opened up with this, because it doesn't have the same idea, right? It doesn't have, like, it didn't trade into the last down candle. It didn't do that. But this is the candle that did sweep liquidity, and when it traded higher, look at the we'll come back to SPY. The S&P, it didn't leave an imbalance behind. It didn't do it. Doesn't need to. But the Nasdaq did. It did leave behind an imbalance. And so to me, that's why you see the Nasdaq trade right there and not to this down candle here. Price trades higher. In bullish markets, down candles are respected, right? Okay, now it trades into down candles. Here. Rallies. Now it trades into what? Down candles. Here. Then what does it trade to? New high. See that? Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. So, why do we study this? Because this is what happens over and over again, my friend. This is how the markets operate. So it may not be like this every day. And to be fair, it's not like typically the delivery I like to see. Okay. But this is still tradable though. Can you frame a 1 to 3 off of this right here? That depends on where your stop is at, to be honest. But this, I think, could be a 1 to 3 if you had a stop right here. But that is dangerous because sometimes it can still come back into that imbalance. So, study. All right, study. But that's what I'm looking at. Okay. So now with that being said, it's kind of a repeat of what I say sometimes, where I think the movement happens in the morning and in the afternoon, is it's either going to consolidate like it's doing now, or it's probably going to do something later in the final hour. So what do we do here? I don't know. Again, I'm on the side of long. Like I feel bullish. Okay. We have already taken a morning session high though. So am I just going to straight up short right now? No. I don't think there's any reason to short this market. With ES, barely took that high here. Right? So again, Could it trade lower? It could, but I still think I'm going to roll with higher pricing. And that only is because of SPY, of everything I just said. How we got really, really dangerously close to that high and we just left it. Like we didn't trade above it. So I would rather see that be taken. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that? Or at least like understand what it is that I'm, I guess, looking at or thinking of. We haven't looked at the dollar really. We can look at it. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know. Well, clearly the dollar is lower. So dollar lower, indices higher. That makes sense. But I wasn't even anticipating really anything for the dollar. I had no bias for currencies or dollar. I mean, I guess if I had to say, it would have been short because we've been bullish on gold. But I wouldn't have stuck to a bias simply on intermarket analysis by itself with an asset that falls in and out of correlation. Like that's not strong enough for me. You know what I mean? Sweep some trailing stops and then run for the high on SPY. I mean, yeah, that could be a factor, or a possibility. Edgar, I would agree. Let's do a quick follow up on gold. On gold. Oh, what has it done this week? What did we discuss on Monday? I know someone asked yesterday, about like left side of the chart only. My friend, Monday we were bullish, and Tuesday, nice candle to the upside. Today is also an update. So there's that. There's that, my friend. Silver started as an update, hit 25. That's a quarter level, by the way. I think it hit 25. Yeah, 25.014. So silver's actually down a little bit today, but gold still continuing higher. And it does, I mean, this is really far. Like it's really zoomed out, but August 4th. So that was 3.5 weeks ago. You have these highs right there. And that was taken today too. Which I did not point out until just now. So I'm not going to take credit for that. But I will take credit for being bullish this week, though. You bet your ass on that. Go back and watch Monday's stream. We talked about it. And that bias was so easy. Swept liquidity, imbalance, launch, right? What does that look like? Does that look familiar? Oh, wait a minute, John. It kind of does. It kind of does look familiar. It kind of does look like the Nasdaq almost. Run on liquidity, imbalance, higher pricing. Oh, shit. Yeah, that looks a little bit different, but very similar. Nasdaq 5-minute and a gold daily. What's the difference? What's the difference? This is another example of why I tell you all it's the same shit. It's the same shit, bro. Nasdaq 5-minute gold daily. What's the difference? Does the same shit. I prove it all the time. All the time. But people still want to argue. Get off the 1 minute. Get off the 5-minute. Just say you can't trade it, dude, and leave it at that. You know what I mean? Price is fractal, but stay off of one time frame. What? What do you mean? People are just funny, man. People are just funny. And yeah, silver was beautiful. It's all beautiful, man. But all of it is beautiful. Now, well, unless like right here, like this shit is ugly, but overall it's still beautiful. Okay. You know, everyone's got their flaws. No one's perfect, right? And price is the same thing. It is beautiful, but sometimes it does shit that you don't like. It'll consolidate. You don't like it, but that's just how it is. If you guys got some value so far today, drop a like on the stream. I'd greatly appreciate that. We got 36 people, only 20 likes. We got to fix it. We got to fix it. So, thank you. Thank you. Euro did the same today on the 15-minute. I haven't looked at currencies at all today, so I don't know what's going on over there. I have no idea. Do not know. Yeah, it just took the high from August 22nd. You said 15-minute? Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, my friends. Are you talking about this? Like that? Man, I can't even see that, bro. Wait. 8551. That's I think that's half a pip. Well, I guess with spreads, maybe a little bit more, but all right, we'll take it. Sweep liquidity, left an imbalance, hits that, trades higher for that daily high here. Market does what? Trades from liquidity to liquidity, or trades from imbalance to liquidity. Again, same shit, different day. If you're struggling to find consistency, in my opinion, it's because you don't have the experience or you don't study enough, which here I'm trying to give you both. We go live 4 times a week. I give you 2 market reviews a week, every week the last few months. Well, I've been doing it for years, but I'm just saying, like, here specifically on this channel, I have almost 300 videos on this channel. It's only been 8 months, over 300 videos. I don't expect everybody to watch them all or have seen them all. Matter of fact, I'd probably be impressed if you did. But I'm just saying, it's like, it's all here. The consistency is there. So we'll watch this for a little bit. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. So again, I still think the bias is 152, 152 and a half. I mean, 452. So yes, we shall see. Mitigation in the London session and a run for a previous week's high. Right. No, that's good. It's a great observation, Edgar. That's the type of stuff that you should be journaling. Again, more on that tomorrow in the Discord stream. So, yeah. Oh, almost forgot to put my watermark up here. Now, it's a watermark, but a reminder that you can always join the Tier 3 membership for more exclusive content. We have 146 or 147 current members. Trying to get to 200. All right, trying to get to 200. We'll see how it goes. But what other questions do you guys have? Because this is all I have for today. Order flow, a reminder to look at the entire list. Because I think if I would have went just based off of the future sign, I may have looked for shorts, and that would have been incomplete. And that's usually when I take a loss, is if I have an incomplete analysis. In other words, a fucking rookie mistake. Because then I would have went, oh, what did I get wrong? And then I would have went to the ETFs and I said, oh shit, well, no wonder I got it wrong. And then I would have felt like a rookie, and I hate that. You do some shit for 9 years, almost 10 years, and then you make a year one mistake and see how that shit feels. It's not fun. It's not fun. I was gonna have a question of the day, and I have not been able to think of one. Yesterday we talked about books and the excuses for why people don't read. And as far as today goes, I don't know. Don't have one. Or can't think of one. And we're gonna put an alert up here as well. Just in case it doesn't do that and we hop off the stream and then it happens later, maybe. I don't know. But we will put an alert there for the S&P. Or for SPY, rather. You know what? I guess that'll be the question for today. Was good, Willow? Now you're in here. I was gonna say, I mentioned you earlier. I guess you weren't here. But that'll be today's question. And we'll talk about screenshots. So if you guys could vote, it's always fun. It's always nice getting a consensus for today's question of the day. Do you take before and after screenshots? Meaning of like charts, trades that you take, or just even like watching it like we did yesterday. Well, to be fair, I did trade that yesterday, but it was a little bit afterwards, rather. It was the 1 minute, not the 5. Which, again, you can see that in the market review. Not the trade, but you can see like the 1 minute, the fractalization. That was what I traded. Okay. But either way, even if I didn't, I still would have wanted the follow up. Either way. Baby Pips is on one today. I'm not really sure what that means. Well, I don't know what that means. Katarina says not every time. No. Yeah. I mean, I don't print every single thing I'm looking for. I mean, you would have to have a forest, bro. Just for me. I'd be ordering paper like no one's fucking business. And ink too. And I'm just not doing that. But the discipline challenge the last, what has it been, 6 weeks? Maybe 7 weeks has been to print at least one per day. Until now, but since yesterday, I opened an extra Notion folder for that. No, that's good. I have a folder on my one of my external hard drives. It's just random charts, and that goes back to fucking 2017, 2016. Now, some of those charts were fucking ugly. Some of that shit is ugly, but the last like 4 years, 5 years have been better. We'll say that. and you can see my old chart colors, and you can eventually see the transition from colors to the black and white, and then now to the calm settings. It's like a big storyline. Would love to see some of that old juice. No, you don't. You don't want to see that shit. It's like asking me to look at Euro CAD on a 3-minute or something. Like, it's just gonna burn your eyes, you know? You don't want to look at it. You ever seen the end of Indiana Jones? I think it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. They get to the end and they find that box they were looking for, and then that box opens and everyone melts. Their face melts off. That's what's gonna happen if I show you some of those old charts. You're just gonna turn to a pillar of salt. You know, it's not gonna be good. I'm trying to save you from that. Okay. But ask him, Hamza. Ask him. Ask whatever your heart desires, just not for old charts. So you're free to ask anything. God, the Dow Jones. Look at this. We've consolidated for 2 hours, just over 2 hours. Gross. Gross. That is that's not cash money. You know what I mean? It's not very cash money if the Dow Jones would be doing that. First, how are you? Man, I'm fucking blessed. Beyond what I deserve. How about you? Was good, George? $25 votes, 60% says yes, they take before and after screenshots. 40% said they do not. I think when I didn't, it's because of laziness. Just straight like that. Or just straight up forgot. That's habits for you, right? We become our habits. That's who we are. I'm passing through a lot right now, bro, but still living and getting disciplined, I think is what you meant to say. No, that's good. You know, I didn't really want to talk about that today, but I guess I could. I was going to make a short reel on this. And I think I've mentioned this in the past, but you know, I was reading Viktor Frankl the other day. I think it was like almost 2 weeks ago. It was on a Sunday. I read like 60% of the book in like one sitting. And Viktor Frankl was a psychologist who survived the Holocaust, specifically Auschwitz, whatever it's called. And, you know, death camp. I mean, yeah, it was terrible. So in that book, I can't remember where I put it. It's somewhere in here. But in that book, he says, let me Google this. I don't want to get it wrong. Something about the last of human freedoms. Anything can be taken from. Give me a second. Probably his most famous one. He said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Now, by itself, that's a good, pretty good quote. It's not bad. Right? It's very stoic, actually. But it makes a lot more sense, or you at least get a little bit more context when you actually understand who he was and the situation that they were in. It's just like Marcus Aurelius. His content is great, but it hits different when you understand who Marcus was. Powerful man in the world and all that stuff. But anyway, coming back to Viktor Frankl. So they were at Auschwitz, death camp. I mean, they were in trains that traveled for a few days, and like they had no restroom breaks. I mean, they were wearing like not jumpsuits, but like just they had nothing. They had no possessions, no watches, jewelry. I mean, everything that they had was taken away. I mean, just matter of fact, I've actually been to the Holocaust Museum in DC. That was like 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. My dad took me there when I was like 12 or 14 or something. And I saw the train cars. I saw the big piles of the shoes and the other shit. It was horrible. I mean, it was a good experience looking at all that stuff, but it was obviously a very tragic event, right? So here you have Viktor Frankl, his friends, family, they're dying. I mean, they're in the cold. They got frostbite. They're eating like watery soup and stale rice. I mean, they're just going fucking through it. You know what I mean? Just through it. And he's saying that, yeah, we went through all this shit, all this stuff, right? Disease, famine, like it was terrible. And everything can be taken because quite literally everything was taken from them. And so then when you understand that and you're reading the book and the content and all that, he still says everything can be taken from a man, but the last of human freedoms to choose one's own attitude in any given set of circumstances. So when you think about that, it's like, damn, if he was looking at the bright side of things in Auschwitz, then we can sure as shit choose our own attitude in the modern world. I mean, like, don't take this the wrong way, but I told you earlier, I'm blessed beyond what I deserve. I mean, I have every book that I want. I can afford more books if I want to. I just don't have room for it, right? I've got all these material things, the ability to trade, the monitors, the gaming shit, the mini fridge. I mean, like anything that I want, I can pretty much have, I mean, within reason, of course. Okay. And it's just like, I can still choose to have like a bad attitude though. Like I can choose to be upset, even though I got all this shit, right? And then here we have Viktor Frankl and others that are choosing the opposite. They have nothing, but they're still choosing their own attitude. They're choosing how they respond in a situation. So that's very powerful because even though, we're not going through the Holocaust, thank God, we can still use that idea of choosing our own attitude no matter what happens. Okay? And so anyway, my point is you can go through rough shit, man. I've been through rough things before too. And it's not fun. Nobody wants to like go through shit. Okay? I mean, it could be losing a job. It could be, breakup. I mean, whatever. Maybe you lost some money, or maybe you blew an account. Now you're broke. I mean, there's a lot of things that people go through. I've been there before too. Okay. Only when I was blowing my accounts back then in 2015, I think is when I got into Forex, 2015. I only lost like $200, $300 at a time. So I wasn't like broke. You know what I mean? Still very uncomfortable though. But I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to be cheated on. I know what it's like to go to work on an empty stomach because I only had enough money for either gas or food. And I chose gas, right? Like, been there, done that, all of those things, okay? And, of course, it was always, for me at least, it was always like, oh, woe is me. I'm such a victim. Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this and all that shit, right? And that was just the wrong way of thinking about it. And what I should have done, I just wasn't aware that I could do these things. What I should have done is looked at it from a broader perspective. So I should have, like, you kind of look at it from a bird's eye view. Okay. And this is also from Marcus Aurelius too, is you have to step back from the situation and you have to look at it in the grand scheme of things. And if you can do that, if you can separate yourself a little bit and, you know, just ask yourself a few questions like, why am I going through this? But not in that way, more of like, what can I learn from this situation? All right, my manager's being a dickhead. What can I learn from this? Or, I don't know. Oh man, I'm broke. How can I learn to actually have money, save it, invest it, trade it? You know what I mean? And you have to look at things from a constructive point of view, or, you know, an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. So that's how I would view things. Because honestly, what else are you going to do? What else can you do? Just like Epictetus said, you have to focus on what you can control and you should let go of what you can't control. And we'll come back to that in just a minute. For now, I don't know who it was earlier, but one of you mentioned trailing stops, and that is what it's looking like right now. Right? Anyone who's been long all day, you know, prices coming back. So, but the reason I said, well, it could do that, but I don't know, is because I'm looking at this rally and I'm just trying to see there's really no equal lows or any obvious lows that I would care to really look at. Like, what I mean by obvious low is something like this one down here. Like, it's obvious. That's our only low, you know, that really sticks out. And so I'm just saying, it's like, what is it going to reach for? So that's a morning low there. And there's a morning low down here too. But I mean, okay. I'm not doing anything with that. I don't know what to do with that. I'm just going to leave it alone. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does fall short and then just leaves that for another day. Maybe it does. But we'll continue to watch it. All right. Christopher, welcome to Tier 2 membership. Glad to have you here. You will receive 2 market reviews every week, Tuesday and Thursday. One time I did put out an extra market review, and I think that was because I did a Tuesday review and it was really short and I felt bad. I was like, damn, I only did like a 4-minute review. So I ended up doing a third one, or I ended up, no. I did the Tuesday one and then I ended up doing the Thursday one, but I gave all the tier 1 members access to that one too, because I felt bad about doing a 4-minute one. So that was like something extra for them. But tier 2, yeah, you get 2 market reviews a week, every Tuesday, every Thursday, generally around 7 p.m. Eastern or a little bit later. Sometimes I am late, and that's just, you know, human error. All right. Sometimes it might take longer to edit, or I might have something to do and I might, you know, hit traffic or something. And I've always talked about that from the jump. I've always said, yeah, don't expect it right at 7 p.m. Eastern. Like, shit, I've even done like 11 Eastern, like a few hours later. So just be aware of that. Okay. Don't expect perfection, because that's not me. All right. So we did trade below that low. That almost looks like a stop run. It just kind of jabs down there. And the Dow looks like straight hot dog water. So if you want to, I would screenshot this. I would screenshot this here, with the anticipation that if this is a stop run, then it should launch up here. Liquidity to liquidity. I think that could be reasonable. I think that could be fairly reasonable for today. We'll know more after 3 o'clock. We won't be here that long, but we'll know more later. So if you want to screenshot, you can. But am I going to trust that this is the low? I don't know, man. The higher time frames aren't really speaking to me. They're not really speaking about what the fuck is this on the 1 hour. It's just not speaking to me. But I'll continue to watch it today, though. All right. So there's that. How do you not lose faith in a human being? All my life I tried to help humans as I can, but all I got when I gave them my hand was a bite. Now and now it's like I'm a little lost. Now, well, okay, well, you need to be a little bit more specific, man. You in a general sense, okay? In a very general sense, I would not give up the idea of being a I wouldn't give up generosity. Okay? I'm just watching this. Okay? I'm not telling you to long this. It's an imbalance below an old low. I'm just watching. I want to see what we do. Okay? I would not give up the idea of generosity. Okay? That I think to me is moving backwards, right? I believe you will get more in the long run than you would in the short run. Okay? So like let me put it to you this way. You know, I've had students that learned from me for like 6 months and then they went off and started their own mentorship, charged way more, you know, and all that stuff. And these were people that were telling me how much money they were losing. They're like, "Oh shit, man, I've lost this much money, whatever, all this shit." And then they launch a mentorship. And I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" You know? And I used to get pretty upset about that because I'm just like, "Bro, if you can't make money trading, what the fuck are you doing teaching, you know, and charging?" Like that to me, I don't really care for that. So of course there was times where I was like, you know what? I'm about to just quit being a teacher. I'm about to quit being a mentor, man. Like this is just pissing me off. I'm fucking done. You know? Now of course I never did. But that I thought about that. I'm like, man, fuck teaching. This is bullshit, right? Because I thought to myself, like, me being generous and these people are taking advantage, and it's upsets me, right? However, I continued teaching and said, well, not every student's going to be this way and not everybody's going to want to teach and all that shit. So I just kept going, right? And look where we are now. We're doing good things, we're having fun, we're looking at price and having a good time, right? Building the community here on YouTube, and this is awesome in my opinion. I love this shit. So in the short run, yeah, I was upset, or they like some of them would take even students that I had, like my personal students. One of them or two of them would leave to do their own thing, and they would take some of my other students with them, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I have no fucking idea. Some of them probably quit trading altogether. Some of them might still trade, or I don't know. I don't keep up with them. Okay. But I know in the long run that me continuing to be generous with the knowledge and sharing ideas and even the time. I mean, I come up on here, I give you guys my time, right? And it worked out better in the end than it did in the short run. So I would say, don't give up the idea of being generous. Okay. Oh, that 5-minute close below that too. Interesting. All right. So, but anyway, let me get back to what I wanted to get to. If you are, say, giving someone your time and energy, or however you're helping them in whatever way that you're doing, you know, if they don't take it for what it is, like if they're taking for granted or they're not appreciative and you're just, you know, losing on that transaction, that's not an idea. Or the idea would be you should not continue to do that, right? Like that's why I don't do one-on-ones anymore, because a lot of people I gave my one-on-one time to, some of them quit or some of them don't trade anymore, like they do other things, and I'm like, why did I teach you how to trade and you don't even trade anymore? This is retarded, you know? So stop doing that. Matter of fact, let me tell you this. I had a guy reach out to me. I think that was last week. It was within the last 10 days. I know that. It might have been like 4 or 5 days ago. Anyway, and he reached out to me and he was like, hey, John, I'm not going to renew my membership. You know, you're an asshole. You know, you don't fucking answer my questions or like whatever. Like he was just going on and on about everything that was negative. Oh, the Discord chat, they don't fucking talk about trading or whatever. Like just bitching, right? Writes a whole paragraph. I mean, I read it, of course, you know, and it's like, okay, well, you know, what was he saying? What's he saying? And it was all negative, okay, about the Discord, about me, about the YouTube or whatever mentorship, right? And so he made it a point. He's like, I'm not going to renew the membership. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, who is this person, right? And I go look at, you know, his not his profile, but I can see how long you guys have been here. It gives me all that information. I know how long you've been a member. Not the specific day after like a month, but it, you know, it'll say 2 months, 3 months, or a couple of days or whatever. So this individual had only been here for 7 days, had only been here for 1 week. We're going to take a side note, okay? Sidebar conversation. If we do trade lower, if I'm wrong on the assumption that we're going to go higher, if we do trade lower, there's a lot of lows here on the Dow. And I think Dow is our weakest index today. So if we do trade lower, these lows could be on the table. Okay. I didn't say that from up here. I had no idea. I mean, if anything, maybe I'm wrong on the afternoon session. Okay. Fine. I'm not going to take a trade then. All right. But if I'm going to talk your ear off, I'm going to at least try and give you some, you know, real shit and some trading stuff too. Okay. And I'm wondering if we are bearish instead, there is a chance that those lows could be taken. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not really convinced either way at this point from where it's at, because now we're in the range. We're like right at 50%. You have the daily high up here. You have these lows here. So to me, I think we're in low probability territory. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot here to follow up with the one we took here, this was not a stop run. Okay. And now we're in the middle of the range. So we'll see what we do. If we're going to trade up here, we would need conviction away from this low. And if not, if it's just bearish, then it'll probably trade down here. Okay. So again, I need more information. I don't know. All right. So anyway, back to what I was saying. This individual had only been here for 7 days. Okay. Now the old me, when I first started like taking on students and stuff, I would have not argued, but I would have wanted to make my point. I would have said, you've only been here for 7 days. You haven't been here long enough. You have no experience. Like I've had students for 3 years. Okay. They're still learning shit too. You know what I mean? And it's like, I could go on and on and on about counteracting everything he said, but I just didn't even respond. I gave him a thumbs up on the, I reacted to his message with a thumbs up. Like, thanks for letting me know type shit. Right? Now, why did I do that? Why did I not argue my point? Why did I not try to defend, either myself or my membership or, the Discord? Why did I just leave it alone altogether? Because after having hundreds of students, probably even thousands at this point, it's been many, many years. You're just come and go, I can tell what type of person that is. And this is the type of person that just looks for everything negative. They look at the world, as a glass half empty type thing. And people like that are just not worth the time, energy, and effort to try and keep. There are certain students I do not fucking want. And that is one of them. I don't want someone who's going to be negative all the time. I don't want someone who only looks for the bad things and not the good things, because I've wasted so much time. Those people don't change generally. And I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you. You could leave. I'm still above 90%. Still above 90 percentile for retention. Another thing too, bro, it's a $25 membership. $25, bro. That's not a lot of money, dude. You want to leave? Go ahead. You want to deactivate your membership? Go ahead. I don't beg anybody to be here. You can join if you want. You can fucking leave if you want. So, whatever, man. It's cool. But anyway, I forgot where I was going or how we even got here, but it's just, you live and you learn from experience. My experience is people like that are not worth the time. Okay, so there's that. There are such thing as bad students. Okay, trust me, I've met plenty of them. There's bad teachers too. I try not to be a bad teacher, but sometimes people think I am. They're like, "Oh, John, you fucking suck. You're boring." I've only heard that like a couple times, but and apparently if I make a Marcu review and tweak the settings around, I sound very monotone and I put some of you to sleep. So shit, I try to make it sound good. I don't try to put you to sleep. I just try to make it sound good. That's all. But I'll do my best to fix it, because that's constructive. There's a difference between constructive criticism and just being a fucking dickhead. Okay? There's a huge difference there, trust me. Like it used to be when I was following you in the academy, just got tired of not being able to access your information. Yeah. Well, that was another factor why I left too. My shit kept getting taken down. You don't treat customers like that. Oh yeah, you paid a full month subscription, but now we're going to take away access to your favorite educator. Okay. Well, again, business principles, customers come first. And when you put customers last, I don't fuck with that. That's why I don't fuck with certain people from the academy. That's why certain people I just straight up do not fuck with, because I don't agree with their ethics. Some people put money first, and I don't agree with that. That's not a lifestyle that I want. You know what happens when you put money above everything else? All right, let's say you make a lot of money. Great. Awesome. Good for you. But if you do not have somebody to share that with, if you don't have, you know, the ability to enjoy it with other people, you're going to be lonely and you're not going to be happy. You're going to be rich and unhappy. I talk about that in my next book too. It's I forgot what the chapter is called, but it's a Stoic idea. It's basically, look, it's better to be, I wouldn't say broke, but it is better to be a little bit above average in terms of wealth. Like, you've secured some money. You're not buying Lamborghinis, but you've secured some money. You got a little safety net, and then a bunch of friends to hang out with. Those are usually the happiest people, not the ones that have Lamborghinis, but they're not driving to their friend's house. They're just bored or lonely. You know what I mean? So I don't fuck with that idea, man. I don't. So that's why I got back on YouTube, because I'll never take it down. All this stuff will be up here and it'll stay here. Uh, 2020. I know the chat's been here for a while. I'm not sure which chart we were looking at here. And they all made lower lows too. That's fucked. I was trying to see if one of them would make a higher low here. I was trying to see if it would do that. It did not. Because I'm wondering if I just timed it wrong, if this still is a stop run, if this trades higher, then this may end up being a mitigation in a little bit. I don't want to try and force the idea here, but I'm going to watch it. So if this wasn't the initial run here. Oh shit, that's not even the right fucking line. Here. I don't know how that got screwed up. But if this is a run on trailing stops, then it may launch from here, is what I'm saying. Like, this may be a mitigation formation. But again, it would have to leave this and really explode higher. And then that next retracement may send it up here, is what I'm thinking. Most people are unsuccessful due to the lack of patience, knowledge, and experience. It's the best reaction you do, ignore those type of people. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. It's just like, bro. It's I don't know if it was Jim Rohn or someone else, but they talked about the coachability index. Right? What's your coachability index? Are you coachable? You know, can you be taught? And a lot of people just cannot be. Jim Rohn talks about that. Okay, thanks, Nikki, for clarifying that. Ooh, that doesn't look good. And Dow just left highs right there too. Gross. Gross, 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 gross. Yeah, this, I don't think I'm gonna do anything here today. I think the morning was fairly clean. I have no idea. But for sake of right or wrong, if I had to pick a side today, bullish or bearish, I think I'm going to go with the idea of bullish price action today. I think that's what I'm going to stick to. All right. So anyway, last thing, 42 votes for do you take before and after screenshots? 52% of you, so just above half. Maybe like 20, 22 or 23 votes for yes. 48% of you said no. Yeah, roughly 50-50. I guess that's not really a surprise. But I guess we'll have to work on it. But yeah, this afternoon, I don't think anything has been really formed yet for me to short or long. So probably just going to leave it alone. All right. So with that being said, I'll shut it down here. And probably going to go read until, yeah, I'll probably just take the day, honestly. Probably just take the day. All right. So y'all be good, man. Don't forget, tomorrow, Thursday, is going to be, we're going to stream at the same time, but on the Discord. Okay. So tier 3 members that are in the Discord, we're going to talk tomorrow about journaling the technical analysis side. All right. Tomorrow's your birthday stream, or like your birthday stream. Nice. That'll be fun. But yeah, y'all be good. See you guys tomorrow.